Today we're going to do something different. Today I'm going to roll up a character to be a supervillain, and I'm going to do a solo game where I'm a supervillain instead of a superhero. I want to see what additional things I might have to add to Vigilante Justice if people wanted to play a bunch of bad guys, okay? Well, let's jump into the game. Hello. Well, I've already done a bunch of what we're going to use is the alternate method for creating a character. And so if you notice, the way you do that is instead of going through each ability and rolling percentile dice, so when you're at the first one, you roll it, it goes into mental. The second one, whatever you roll, goes into magic. And this one, in this method, you roll all 6 percentile dice at once. So I got a 63, I got a 68, I got a 14, I got a 57, I got a 67, and then I got a 54. So that includes your 5 ability scores and your wealth, right? Makes it a little quicker. I do think the first method is better first time you play. And if you're playing with especially younger people, because it means that they may not get what they want. They may have to overcome, maybe they want to be a bruiser, well, they're going to have to overcome the fact that they're not that strong, or maybe they're not that fast. So it balances it out, where this method gives you a bunch of ability scores and ranges, but it lets you maneuver them into a character that you like. You'll also notice when I rolled a d20, I got a 10, so then adding 15 means my age is 25. An alternate is you just pick whatever age you want. And then I rolled a d4 for my powers. I got 3. Another alternate way of doing it is for the GM to just sit there and say, okay, I want a low power game, everybody gets 1 or 2 points. I want a high power game, everybody gets 6 points. Or maybe you come to me with an interesting character and power attributes, and I might approve it or might have you adjust it. So, and that one takes the most work with both the GM and the player. Because some players, instead of focusing on the role playing, are going to want to try to recreate, the watcher in the game. Which it really isn't, that's not a fun kind of game, in my opinion. If you want to do it, do it. But I think you'll find out the game isn't that fun. So let's look at my character. And this is... Now, I haven't done all the rolling. I wanted to save and do it on screen for the rankings for my powers. So if you look, I went with mental, heroic, magic, feeble, strength, heroic, agility, superior, speed, superior, wealth, heroic. Okay, so... Age 25 means my health points are 68, and I went with 2 powers. Digital manipulation, that was 1 point, and duplicate, which is 2 points. Now, digital, I did modify digital manipulation. I've modified almost all the powers. I've made most of them cheaper. I went with a specific grid where it's going to be powers that are more informational and less game breaky are going to be 1. Your stronger, normal kind of powers you might want as a superhero is going to be 2 points. Those things that are going to really elevate you, like flying and that, well, they're now going to be 3 points or 4 points. And then the game-breaking ones, those will be at 5 points. Okay, so maybe down the future we might adjust some more. So if you've already rolled some characters, come in our website, sign up. You could re-roll and readjust your characters. Okay, I modified some things too with the enhanced agility and the reflex. I made them more different. But duplication basically lets me create duplicates of myself. So let's come in here. Let's roll D100. I got a 21. So 21, I believe, is feeble. So that blows. But you can now do more things than you could before with digital manipulation. So now let's see what we have. A 9, another feeble duplicate. Okay, so duplicate means I can create one copy that mimics me. So basically it's kind of like a robot-y thing that if I'm walking, it's going to follow me. If I start punching somebody, it's going to punch somebody. You know, probably the person I'm punching. If I run, it's going to run. Okay? The one difference is my character is in a wheelchair. And so because my character is in a wheelchair, I'm going to make it to where the duplicates are not in a wheelchair. So the nice thing is a duplicate, you could send it out to do things. Now at this level, it doesn't have any of my powers. It can't do anything except mimic me. So this is going to be one of the ones I'm going to want to elevate, you know, enhance and get a little higher maybe. Or also, I mean, it kind of blows. It really blows. I got 2 feebles. But that's part of the fun of the game. Right now, I'm going to have to completely rethink. You know, I can't go rob that bank I was thinking about. I'm going to have to be, like, pushing over drugstores or whatever. Okay? I'm very wealthy, though. So that's kind of cool. And I wanted to make sure I put that instead of the feeble in my wealth, because I want to be able to, you know, I'm getting ready to start working on, when this goes to the printer, on the technology and magic. So I want to be able to test those. And part of being able to, if I'm feeble, I can't buy nothing. I can barely buy a 12-pack of soda, right? I mean, I'm making like 25 grand, 30 grand at the most a year. And, you know, when you pay rent, your phone, and blah, blah, blah. So, and also where I'm a digital guy, I want to make sure I can afford things like, you know, a satellite internet connection and things like that. Especially until I get better at hacking, then I can just control those things. But right now I'm going to have to pay for them. So this is kind of, I'll show you my picture of what my character looks like. So that's an actual Dwarf Forge mini or Hero Forge mini I'm getting ready to make of this character. So he's got like a telemetry, you know, I'm thinking of that as a PDA, but he's got a telemetry device. He's got his wheelchair, you know, so this is kind of what I vision this guy to be. Okay? So let's jump into actually playing the game. Now let's get right in on the game. I might have to, while we're playing, create icons and things like that. Here's my hero, Dr. Net. Basically what happened to me was I was injured and became paralyzed because of a fight that went wrong with a superhero. And as a young boy of 11, I was put in the hospital, and it was a very traumatic event. And based on all the surgeries and everything I had to have, by the time I was 14, I started noticing that I seemed different than other people. I had a real affinity for computers, and I had a large, you know, I seemed to sometimes when I woke up, there'd be a duplicate of me. And it took me a while to control that ability. I just recently moved to Cleveland, Ohio, and I have a trust fund now because of the accident, so I don't have to worry about work. But I'm really angry. I want to get back at these superheroes. I think one of the ways to do, and I also want power. A good way to do it is I got to start my own game. I bought a small bar, so this is where I'm hanging out. And I know I need to hire a couple of heavy hitters. There's this money lending institution down the street, and I think if I get a couple guys together, we can bust into the place. But you know, I'm a tough guy. I've got a lot of agility. I'm not slow, so even in my chair situation, I do pretty good. But first, like I said, I gotta hire a couple of guys. I need some muscle to go with me. So let's do that. Let's go into the thug chart. Now I want to make sure that thug chart has the ability to. Okay, so I'm going to change boss, since I'm looking to hire somebody to be superhero. Okay, so I roll a 1d4. I got a teen, so I found a teen. And let's go to, so let's come into here. These are going to be my gang. This is going to be my gang. And we got one is going to be a teen. Let's go back to F2 and let's roll again. Okay, got a young adult. That's a little better. I'm liking that. But hey, you know, when I was a teen, well, we won't talk about it, but I had a problem, and it wasn't with local police. So teenagers can get into trouble too, and can do some serious crimes. So young adult. So this is how you roll up thugs, basically. Well, it's the same. I'm going to use the same chart for henchmen, basically. Think of that, what we're doing. So step 2, what's their mental ability? So a 1, that's a feeble. The teen's kind of a dummy. Intelligence, strength, agility, speed, that's all you really need. Now, we might develop these people out a little bit more, but that's all we need. Okay, so let's roll a d4 again. And we got a 4. So mental for that one. Oh, that's a 1d3 is what it should have been. So a d6 divided in half. So that would be 2. So average mental for AVG. Let's go back to... Yeah, I'll get quicker at this, I hope, people. Flipping between screens. So then we got strength. Okay, a D3. Again, a 4. So that's a 2 strength is average. So we got average strength. Okay, let's come back here. And we need 1d6 minus, so that's 3. Well, that's good. Our other guy is going to F2. So that's superior. Okay, yeah, that's good. That guy's... So, that's good. So, superior is... And let's go back to here. And roll a d6 again. We got a 4, so that's a 2. So agility is average, so he's got average agility. He's got average, EGL, AVG. So that's what my new standard is going to be. I'm going to capitalize and MTL. I'm going to say MEN instead of MTL. And then I'm going to say do that here. I think that'll be TR, and then agility, AGL. And let's go back and see where we're at. And roll D6 again. So basically, 2 is a 1. So this is going to be a 2. Sorry about that. So a 2 for agility is average. AVG. So there we go. And now this would be the time I'd use AI in my games. Is I'd say, hey, give me the name of 2 villains or 2 thugs, and one's a teen, one's a young, and it'll randomly create me a name. But I'm gonna name these guys after some of the thugs I knew in my day. So we're gonna have a Mike K, like AA. We only use first names, last initial, right? Because we're addicted to crime. Okay, so who's another oh, we'll say Wayne. This guy ended up in prison. Don't remember his last name. So there we go. I found, hired, put a couple ads out in some of the punk, and went to some bars and said, look, I'm looking for somebody that can help me with cleaning, and I need a guy who can help me be a bouncer, and it's a private club, so it's not like, it should be cool, but I want to help guys out that have maybe gotten into some trouble. So I basically looked to find a couple of ex-cons, low-level stuff, kid been in and out of juvie, stuff like that. I got my little gang, and I kind of tell them, look, this club, you guys are in on the ground floor. Let's go back to whatchamacallit. You guys are in on the ground floor. I tell them about my plan to... Oh, one of the things I'm going to do, we're going to be able to have a little bit of fun, because the hero game, I'm using the Oracle that we designed for the system. What I'm going to do for the villain game is so you can kind of see, well, is there a big difference if I use the in-game Oracle, which I think is simpler than Mythic. Now, if you got the app, like I do, it's not difficult at all. It's all automated. So, like when I'm in the hospital, I'm playing solo games, all I need is a dice roller and this, and I can do anything, okay? So that's one of the things. So, Mike K, I think he's got 50-50 shot. We're at Chaos Factor, because that's what it was on here from the last time I played. Different game, don't even know what name, but I'm going to say Mike K, the kid, 50-50 shot, yes. So you can see, I don't know, can you see it in here? 50-50, I got a yes. Okay, now Wayne, 50-50, got a yes on him too. Okay, so both these guys are into my idea of tossing over, robbing this store that's like a check cashing place. It's not smart. Like a bank, you're going to hit at the end of the day, right? That's when they get all their money. But a check cashing place, we got to hit them at the beginning of their day. Make sure that get the cash. So we got to figure out a way. Why would we be in there? I'm not a great hacker, because I'm only, feeble, if I remember correctly, in digital manipulation, but I'm basically a script kiddie, right? So I know how to use a rubber ducky. I know certain things, right? I know on the outside of a lot of the buildings, there's a gray box. You open a gray box, kids don't listen to me. You unscrew that one screw and you got an RJ45. You plug a freaking phone into it and boom, you're calling. So I know how to do little petty crap like that, you know. If they got their own little website, I can probably maybe get into that. So that's about what I can do. Now, the other thing is, though, remember, I'll confuse them because I can become two people. Now, down the road, that second person can be autonomous. And at that point, if I can get myself to where I'm able to duplicate at that level, and with my mental capabilities and with my digital manipulation that I'll hopefully grow a little bit, I'll be a hellacious supervillain. The problem is, am I going to make it that far? Right? That's the problem. So that's where we're at right now with the session 0. You know about the character. I got my gang together. Have we fought yet? No, but we're role playing, right? We're talking, we're figuring out, we're planning. You know, this is what, you know, we're not playing Street Fighter 2. We're playing, hopefully it'll grow into a pretty deep story, and we'll create a pretty cool character that we'll enjoy playing. I'll see you in a couple days when we decide to actually hit the check cashing place.